Ain't no rock gonna stand in my place, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. Ain't no rock gonna stand in my place, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. Ain't no tree gonna lift its branches. I lift my hands to glorify His holy name. See, ain't no tree gonna lift its branches. I lift my hands to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. There ain't no bird gonna sing in my place. I lift my voice to glorify His holy name. Sing, ain't no bird gonna sing in my place. I lift my voice to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. Sing all three. Ain't no rock, no tree, no bird gonna stand in my place, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. Ain't no rock, no tree, no bird gonna stand in my place, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. You've got to praise His holy name, as long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. As long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name. As long as I'm alive to glorify His holy name.
Hey, welcome to Kids Church. Thank you for joining us again this Sunday. We're so excited to have you here. Today we're going to be studying in Genesis 1, and we're going to be reading about the creation story where we get to see how God made the heavens and earth. Here we go. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be a vault between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it. And it was so. God called the vault sky. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters He called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. And God said, Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and the days and years. And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. And it was so. God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vaults of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 4th day. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their various kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the 5th day. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all of the beasts of the earth and all the birds in the sky and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the 7th day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Wow! What did you guys think of the story? Isn't it amazing how God created the whole earth? I love reading about this story and reading about how God made everything. It reminds me that God is the ultimate, most amazing, most awesome, incredible creator. Do you like to create things? I bet you do. All of us like to create things in one way or another. Maybe you like to play with Play-Doh, or build with Legos, or draw or paint pictures. Maybe you like to play with chalk outside, or maybe you even like to decorate things or do something really fun and creative. There are so many ways. You could build really awesome Hot Wheel tracks, or you could do something really cool with your dollhouse in a way that you could decorate it. There's so many ways that we see that we create, and that's actually something that we have learned from God. So this is just something that's a really cool way for us to remember and honor God as we think about him. Have you ever walked outside and just been in awe of how beautiful something looked? I know when I go to the beach and I see the ocean and I see how the water just goes on and on, I just sit there and marvel, and I'm so amazed at how God created the ocean and the sand and all the things that live in it. You know, one of my favorite things is even just seeing the sunset. You know, just seeing how beautiful, how the sky changes colors, and it's so, so beautiful. There's blue and pink and purple and orange and yellow, and it's just so magnificent. My sons and I were on a walk this week, and we were talking about the trees. just how beautiful they looked. And we were talking about how God made trees so awesome and how they serve so many different purposes. Trees provide oxygen so that we can breathe and have clean air. Trees give us shade on a really warm day. Trees are a place that is a home for birds and other animals. They provide food. They provide beauty. We see them so beautiful as the leaves change colors, as they fall, when they're bare, when they get their green leaves again. God is so amazing. It's so cool to see how God spoke everything into creation. Isn't that really awesome? It reminds us that God is so powerful. God is so thoughtful. Into every little thing that he made, he put in so much thought and wonder. I hope that this scripture today, this passage, reminds you of how awesome God is. It reminds us how powerful he is. It reminds us that he is in control, that he has created all things. And also, at the very end, we read about how God created mankind in his image. That's you. God created you, and he did an amazing job. You know, God looked at everything that created, and when he was finished, he sat back and admired it and said, "It is good." So this week for our activity, we're going to do something a little different. We're not going to do just one specific thing. I want you to do something that helps you think about this scripture and helps you think about all the things that God has created. Maybe that means you want to go on a walk with your family and you just talk about some of these things and how marvelous and amazing it is. Like how a butterfly starts out as a caterpillar and transforms into a butterfly. Maybe you want to draw a picture of your favorite things that God has made. Maybe you want to write a list of the things that are your favorite. You pick. Do something that just helps you think about and be in awe of God. Because God sat back and saw that it was good, and we should too. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing week. I hope you'll join us next Sunday, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified whenever we have Kids Church every Sunday morning. See you next week.